Okay, so today what I'm trying to do is produce a plaster of Paris cast of an animal track. So I have a tray of sand here, as you can see. I've put some water in it with a sprayer, and I think the best way to do this is to keep it nice and fluffy. So I've spread the sand around, and what I'll do next is get my animal, my puppy, to come along and produce a track for us. Now she was just chewing on her bone. I think she's happy enough to participate, and we'll get her. Let go. Here we go. Good girl. All right. Hey, that's pretty good. Thanks for that, Pops. So if we have a look, you can see there's some tracks there. I'm pretty happy with that. So the sand looks pretty good. So next we'll make our plaster of Paris mix and try to make the casting of the footprint. Make the plaster of Paris. Look, I'm estimating at the moment, I just want to make enough plaster of Paris to fill a fairly small footprint. I might put some more in there because I might try a couple. I've tried some of this before, and the products were okay, but I reckon I need a reasonably fluid type of mixture so it will flow into all the gaps and so on, but not too runny. You'll notice it's a bit of an exothermic reaction, so you'll feel some heat being generated. I'm about to get into this. I'm just going to take a risk and have a go. Feels like a fairly runny pancake mix. We'll see how we go there. I actually made a little ring, a little shroud to go around the footprint. I thought that would be a good idea to try to contain the plaster of Paris. Makes it look a little bit neater, but I don't think it's essential. But I'll probably try it with one of the footprints and see what happens. Maybe this one. And I think, just as you would do icing with a cake, if I cut the corner of my plastic bag, it might help me to deliver the plaster of Paris. So just pouring it in, and it looks pretty good. A little bit bigger. I'll just change the camera so you can see what's happening. So there's a footprint. Whoa. Seems to be going quite good. Managed to do 3 footprints there. Spread it around so it makes a bit of a platform. I can imagine you could do a casting of a handprint, which could be a lot of fun, or a footprint of a person would be pretty good. So I'm going to leave that to harden, and then we'll come back and check the results. So that's what it looks like. Hopefully we get some good castings there. Thanks. How's it going? Okay, so I've let the plaster cast sit for about half an hour, so they're fairly hard. If I tap them with my finger, it doesn't really make a dent in there. Actually down here I made one more mix of plaster Paris. It was really runny, but I thought it was quite good, although there are bubbles there. So if we just pull one of these out, and thanks to our Dyson vacuum cleaner, I've got a little brush and if you come in, you can see the footprint there. It's not too bad. You can even see a nail there, so that's good. How about we try one of these? Just brush it clean. And again, what do you think of that one? It's not too bad. You can see the pads of the foot and a nail as well. Here's the one that had the shroud. I also made a split in the shroud so it could come out easier, because I did get one jammed in there last time I tried this. And so if we give it one final brush, let's see what it looks like. Yeah, not too bad. Maybe it was a bit thick, so it hasn't really filled in the footprint. So out of all three, if you get a little look with the camera, I'd probably say these two are the best. That was the really running one, and that was just one of the footprints that was sitting by itself. So not a bad result. The next thing would be to 3D scan these with the app on my phone, Scaniverse, and see if we could 3D print the footprint as well. So the idea would be to produce a 3D print of the footprint itself, but even with this, you can see if we flattened out an area in a sand pit or something like that, and then kids could come along and make their animal prints in the sand, and maybe have some creative storytelling and so on. So that should be a lot of fun.